Okay, I'm with Paul from Mode 7, and he's here to tell us a little bit about Frozen Synapse 2, the sequel to the game that really helped put your studio on the map. What can you tell us about it?
So we've got that core gameplay from Frozen Synapse 1, which is kind of very tight, tense, tactical gameplay, and then on top of that we've added a huge amount of stuff. So the main marquee feature is this giant procedurally generated city where you can go into any building on the map. Saying this a lot today, but we think we're the first game where you can do that at all. So this completely accessible city. There's also a huge number of new different unit types. There's stealth gameplay. There's a lot of interaction with different AI factions who all have a big presence on the map. So it's a grand strategy game married with that sort of tight, precise, tactical underlayer.
So how does it work then? So you've got the kind of the tactical layer that you had last time with the kind of the more authored mode and the maps and stuff. How are you translating that into the open world setting?
So you are a faction, you're sent into this city to investigate incursions by a mysterious outside force, and so you'll be on the map dealing with those incursions, and then when you have a tactical situation, if two squads from different factions meet, or if you go into a building, you'll go down into the tactical view. So in this game there's a lot of kind of economy management as well. There's a marketplace for different mercenaries that you can hire, again where all the factions compete. So you have to make sure you have enough money. You might want to go and rob banks or kind of intercept funds from other factions, and that will allow you to have a number of different squads in the city that you can send out. So there's quite a lot of interplay between that grand strategy metagame and the tactical layer.
You've got a very precise and specific visual style.
Yeah.
How are you kind of working that into the overall kind of the structure of a procedurally generated city?
So our lead artist, Richard Whitelock, was kind of tasked with taking that distinctive style from FS1 and then extending it out. So what we've done with the city is we have this kind of beautiful, glowy wireframe buildings with some nice kind of very subtle backdrops to them, but we're looking into different ways of sort of tinting buildings, adding different types of lighting to them, different glow to them, kind of attaching bits of information to them. One of the hard things about that kind of scope of game is when you give the player information and how you present it. But with that kind of minimal style, that interface style, we really kind of have a strong basis to build on. You're thinking about kind of a tactical interface on a city scale. The aim with Frozen Synapse was always to be like you're the guy in the van kind of outside the building who's hacked into the security and you're giving your forces orders. So think of that maybe from a satellite type perspective and you'll get an idea of the aesthetic stuff that we're going for.
Okay, how do you design a procedurally generated city and make it feel alive?
So one of the things that we started with was geometry, and we found an amazing open source city generator that we've kind of repurposed and we're using for this. So we started making interesting geometry, making plausible city geometry with different types of districts. And then after the city's generated, you assign, uses and owners to the different buildings to really give it life. And then after that, it's all about faction AI. So all of these factions will have different things that they're trying to accomplish. They'll have different styles of doing stuff. And when you start to have all those systems interrelating, a lot of that kind of creates itself in a way. So procedurally generated stuff is about systemic design, and our lead designer Ian Hardingham is absolutely amazing at systems, coming up with systems and the atmosphere that systems create. So for him it's a really fertile environment for him to use his imagination in terms of that type of design, and it's really exciting for players to see the outcome of all of that kind of playing nicely together.
Okay, so where are you in terms of like this game's development, and what's left to do, and where do you kind of see it kind of coming to market?
So we'd like to put out a version that people can start playing in a couple of months' time, probably as a sort of pre-order beta in a similar way that we've done. And then what we want to do is be quite reactive to the community. If people really like it and they jump on it early and there's lots of features that they want, we can keep development rolling and add those features. If it's going to be something where there's more of a defined spec that is exactly kind of what people want at a certain time, then we'll target that spec and release a full version of the game, nicely polished around that. So we're being a lot more flexible than we've been in the past. But as I said, that beta version will come out in a couple of months, and then we'll see about full launch.
Okay, and we're talking about PC. Any plans to go to any other places?
We're just announcing PC right now, but we're looking into our options.
Okay, well, thanks very much, and good luck with the rest of the development process.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot.
Cheers.